And I'm trying to think. I know there's someone else. Oh, Bane. Bane is the villain, the main villain. How could I forget? The main symbol of anarchy and chaos that The Dark Knight Rises really stands for. And I, again, I said this in my other video that I mentioned earlier, that Bane just does not, he's just not compelling to me at all. And I like him, but I don't think he should ever be the central villain. And I know somebody mentioned on the comments in my other video that, you should give Bane more credit because he can be interesting and he's been done well in certain comics. And I'm not saying that he can't be interesting. I believe this person. I'm sure that if I read it, I would think, okay, he's interesting here. But for the most part, and what I've seen, I haven't seen that much of Bane that really kept me interested in him. And the same goes for the interpretation in this film. It just wasn't interesting. And even if he could have been interesting, it's very, very difficult to follow a villain like the Joker. I'm sorry, it's near impossible, especially with what Heath Ledger did, which was such a revelation, a monumental performance. And then even people like Harvey Dent. Even though I thought that Harvey Dent wasn't developed in the way that I wish he could have been, I still liked him very much and I wanted to see more of him. But this one, he just didn't have that charisma. He's just this very burly guy. All that his character really stands for is just prowess. And what I appreciated so much in The Dark Knight, I know I keep mentioning it, but I can't really help it. It helps to compare. But all of the confrontations between the Joker and Batman were mostly conversations, and they were very interesting and intellectual. And when I think about, even though I had a lot of problems with The Dark Knight in terms of the dialogue and some of the philosophical uh, symbols in it, at least they were trying to be interesting. They were trying to talk about things that were kind of thought provoking. And I appreciated that a lot. But in this one, really, there's none of that. It's basically just a big fest of special effects and all of this stuff. And when it came down to the battle, there's a little battle between Bane and Batman pretty early on. It becomes this big fist fight, and to me, I was kind of laughing during it. To me, it was something out of a comedy. I found it to be hilarious, and I was like, really, this is the big build up. This is the big confrontation between these two characters. So I didn't buy that at all. I didn't like it. But not only that with Bane, but I think just what Bane stands for, of course, as I said, is just this idea of democracy taking over. It's basically a commentary on the French Revolution, this whole film. And that's kind of the idea you get from all of the Christopher Nolan Batman films. It's just this world, this Gotham that really comments on terrorism and just chaos and a very cynical look into our world as it's really spiraling out of control. And this movie takes that to such a high level to the point where, I mean, there's no subtlety. It's so bombastic that I just found like it was just hitting you over the head. There was nothing in it that really made me think, "Oh wow, that's really interesting." There was nothing that really made that kind of, I guess, evoked my intellectual curiosity is what I'm trying to say. I didn't get that from anything. All I got was everything's exploding and people are out of control and that's it. And I felt nothing. Whereas in The Dark Knight and even in Batman Begins, I felt there was something more in it. And at least it was handled with a sense of kind of, it felt like Christopher Nolan was trying to kind of explain things in a way that was interesting. This, I did not feel that at all. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but anyway. But that's pretty much my opinion. And also, again, I said I wasn't going to give away the ending, and I'm going to remain faithful to that. But let me just say that the ending to this movie is just, it's such a cop out. It's, oh my God. When I was watching it, I was like, really? Really, Nolan? That's going to be your ending? It felt like a way to wrap everything up in such a neat and tidy way, and a way to also get the sentimentality of your fans behind you, like one of those, oh wow, ooh, that's clever. And no, it's not clever. It's a way to end things without any sort of thought at all. But anyway, so that's kind of my whole idea. I mean, the whole idea behind it and how I felt as I was responding to it. But the whole movie is just exhausting. I would not want to see this again. I don't know who would want to see this again more than once. It's very sterile, impersonal. exhausting, and the music is just pounding. It's like hammering into your head, and it was not a pleasurable experience at all. Whereas in the other one, yes, it was very dark, but I got kind of a sick, kind of twisted pleasure out of watching it and watching the Joker. This, I felt nothing. It was like Christopher Nolan wanted. I mean, I understand. I mean, it's hard when you've got, a film like The Dark Knight where fans just loved it, went nuts over. You have an obligation to really try hard for the next one and make it even better. And sometimes it's near impossible. It's kind of like, how do you top The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2? Well, it wasn't really accomplished. The same here is that I think Christopher Nolan was just like, okay, I have to make this bigger and better and more spectacular. And I don't think that's always the case. You don't have to make things so spectacular, so epic, and on such a grand scale that there's nothing personal about it. And that's just he fell into that trap, and it's really sad because I think a lot of times less is more, and a lot of directors don't get that when they're trying to come up with a sequel. But anyway, that's pretty much my opinion on it. But what surprises me so much, and this is what I want to hear from most people about, is that I don't understand why so many people love this movie. It seems like the consensus seems to be that people really like it. They think that no, it's not as good as The Dark Knight, but it's on the level with Batman Begins, which I don't agree with at all. And a lot of people, even critics, like it. And I just, maybe I am way off here, but I really want to know. That's my question that I'm posing to people who are watching this. What is it about the film that people are responding to? Because I would really love to know. I mean, sometimes there are movies that I see that I don't like at all, but I understand why people like them. There's a lot of movies I think, okay, well, I didn't like it and I have my reasons why I dislike it. But, there are things in it that I can understand that people respond to. This, I don't know what it could be. It's just so messy. This whole movie is messy. So I want to know what it is. And I have a feeling, my theory is that people right now and in the past several years have had this love affair with Chris Nolan. Everyone's treating him like he's a god, like he's Spielberg or something like that, or D.W. Griffith, whatever, and people just love him. And I think that maybe that infatuation with his work and with his Batman series might be kind of clouding people's judgment. Because I've had that happen. When I was a kid, I saw movies and I thought they were really, really good, and then I saw like the sequel or the third film, and then I would kind of be saying, oh, it was still good. I was trying to be nice to it because I loved the others so much. But then later on I would realize, you know what, I really, really did suck. I don't know why I was behind it. Because it's hard sometimes when you really are into something and you're really disappointed, you just don't want to admit it. And I think that could be the problem. But again, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just way off here, or maybe I'm being too harsh. But honestly, I'm just giving you my honest opinion. So I would like to know what people think. And I want to hear something other than, oh, you're stupid, you don't get it, you're an idiot. I don't want to hear that because I respect everyone's opinion on here, and I think, you should treat me likewise. So I hope we can keep it civil. But yes, so again, that's my opinion on the films. I was just really underwhelmed by it. What can I say? But anyway, so just if you would like to hear more of my opinions on Batman, I did this before this film came out, but just my opinions on Batman in general, you can watch the video below or also click the link to follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time.